What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video. Today we got the follow-up of day 2 of camp in the Cleveland Browns with the Philadelphia Eagles. So as you guys know, day 1, just to give you guys a little bit of a recap, the Philadelphia Eagles faced off against the Cleveland Browns in joint practice. With that being a joint practice, pretty much how that goes is they go through a different little drill sets and different variations of practice and in-game situations. For example, you get put into a 2-minute drill. You also get put into red zone, 7-on-7. It's just pretty much a good different way where people can go at it and they're not facing the same guys in practice. And it's a good measuring stick when you go out there and you play a team like the Philadelphia Eagles and you could stack up against them. So just to give you guys a recap, if you didn't watch my day 1 video, go watch that day 1 video. It's a lot of interesting facts and stuff in there that will, give you a better insight on what the Browns did day 1. And, playing the Philadelphia Eagles is a very big, important, tall task. One of the things I went over with is the simple fact of, you coming off playing the Eagles in the joint practice. You play them on Thursday, and then on top of that, you play Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's going to be a grudge match on who's going to play their starters. So I feel like it's very, very interesting right now that the Browns go Eagles, Chiefs, Bengals, Steelers, Titans, Ravens, Niners. So I feel like this is going to be a big gauntlet for them. And seeing how the Browns can come out of this, where they pretty much facing a playoff team every week, is very interesting and very telling to see. Every team now I just mentioned has a good defense. Probably the worst defense on the list, probably either the Chiefs or the Bengals, who you have to put up points against to win. Now getting into day 2, the Cleveland Browns came out pretty strong and hot. The offense came out really good. Washington threw a couple of deep, beautiful balls. I'm going to try to put some of the tweets that I'm referring to up on the screen like I did in my last video. But Washington had a couple good balls. The defense came out. They had a pretty standard day. And as practice started coming along, a lot of friction and fights started breaking out. It was a late hit on Demetric Felton when DeJuan Jones stood up for him and started, throwing some guys around. It was a couple of different scruffles and, different fights. As they got near the end of practice, the biggest drill of the day, 11-on-11, Browns versus Eagles. The Eagles came out on top and beat the Cleveland Browns. Jalen Hurts and Marcus Mariota both scored a touchdown in their respective drives, while Deshaun Watson and Josh Dobbs both threw an interception, unfortunately, in their respective drives. Now, Watson did throw a couple of picks. I think he threw a pick. He did 1 or 2 to the same guy. This fly's ticking me off. But he did 1 or 2 to the same guy. To their safety on the play where they went out there and had a 2-minute drive to come back and pretty much try to even up the game against the Eagles. Pretty much, Blanker Smith or whoever the DB was picked off a tight end steam route. If you guys never played Madden or don't know too much about football, it's a tight. You can look it up though. It's a tight end steam route, and he pretty much picked that off. Ended the day. Don't know how Josh Dobbs was picked off, but Josh Dobbs' career and everything going on with him should be in serious danger. By the way, I know that DTR is a rookie, and I wanted to elucidate and put that in. I'm gonna make a separate video explaining why it's interesting that DTR is starting on Thursday. I'm gonna have a separate video as far as that. But Josh Dobbs, he came down. It was him versus Marcus Mariota. And Marcus Mariota came out on top. Josh Dobbs threw a pick to end the game. Marcus Mariota got a TD against our second team. Our second team defense hasn't really been good. The best guy on that second team defense is AJ Green. So we hope and Cam Mitchell. So we hope none of these guys should make the roster in the first place. But our second string corners and our second string secondary has not looked the best. The only people that probably will make the roster from that team is maybe David Bell and maybe can't even think of bro's name, but probably like maybe David Bell or the other safety that got those 2 picks against the Commanders. But that's pretty much going to be what we got back from that. So my opinion and my take on it, I told you guys, and I kind of hinted at it with the video I dropped yesterday, was that, hey, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles is one of, if not the best team in football. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how they react. You know, we just beat them in their home field pretty much. We came out and outplayed them. And now they're going to be amped up at home. They're going to be able to go back at our guys. And we're going to see, you know, who's the better team. And on that second day, the Eagles proved to be the better team than the Cleveland Browns. So it's a lot to really take. It's some good in the bag. So let's go into the good. The good is this Cleveland Browns team is a very good football team. They've checked every box that we asked them to check as far as camp. They've checked every box as we asked them to check as far as preseason. Of course, a lot of you will wish to see Deshaun Watson out there a little bit more. But other than that, for the most part, they've checked every box. Another thing that I found very, very, very interesting. The defensive line came out and really impressed the Eagles. It made them have to really play to their top potential. So that Eagles-Browns defensive line war was really interesting. You know, the guy DeJuan Jones looked really good and really nice out there. He had one of those, you guys probably seen it already. I'll try to find it and put it up in the video somewhere, but he went one-on-one with Graham. You know, Graham's been a Pro Bowler a couple of times, so seeing DeJuan pretty much silence him one-on-one was really good. Trying to think of everything else. And Martin Emerson going up against A.J. Brown. We're pretty much hearing that the Browns is one of these top premier teams. So the fact that they could go back and forth with the Eagles is really good. I wish we would have had a couple more joint practices. It probably wasn't up to Stefanski when he wanted to go out there and go to Greenbrier for a week. But I wish we would have had a couple more joint practices. Our only joint practice was against the Eagles. So I wonder how we would have did against like a regular team almost. Like if we would play like the Giants or like the Seahawks or somebody in the joint practice. I wonder how that would have been. But it's probably real convenient just to fly to Philadelphia. It's probably like an hour-and-a-half flight anyway, you know. It makes a lot of sense for the team to go out there. I do want to get you guys' opinion and comments on this. Does Watson throwing that pick in the red zone, not the red zone, but throwing that pick, and the Browns offense really struggling to do anything in the 2-minute drill against that Eagles defense, does that concern you guys? They came out pretty strong and hot early. But day one, they had struggles getting into field goal range in that 2-minute drill. And day two, they also had struggles getting into field goal range in that 2-minute drill. So it is a little alarming in my perspective. I would say that. I think they're going to be okay, though. We got to remember that this Eagles team just went to the Super Bowl. This Browns team just missed the playoffs. So the fact that they're even at that pinnacle to be a little bit worse than the Philadelphia Eagles is very telling. We'll see where they're at. We'll see if this Philadelphia Eagles team can make it another deep run. As you guys know, it's a lot of wear and tear on the human body to go to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. And that's what they're striving to do this year. So just the fact that the Browns can compete and be neck and neck with those guys is very telling. And I really want to see what's going to happen when we get some easy games in after we get through this stretch of kind of like, not miserable, but really tough football teams that we're playing. Like once we hit that stretch where we're playing like the Colts, the Seahawks, like that little stretch, I really wonder how this team is going to look and I'm going to be able to front load and maybe blow some of these teams out. We haven't been able to do that in a very long time here in Cleveland. So maybe and hopefully that could come about. Another thing, you know, Deshaun Watson continues to look like Deshaun Watson. He looks pretty good despite having those picks. And then both of those picks were like tip balls. So I know a lot of people are going to crush and kill them. But, you know, there's tip balls, and there's been a lot of different drops. Amari Cooper playing a little bit better day one would have been nice. And I would have liked to see our pass rushers do a little bit more as far as getting open, creating separation. I don't know, maybe the physicality got to him. Looked like Cedric Tillman had a pretty good catch. Anthony Schwartz still looked pretty good. So we shall see, man. It's a very talented Cleveland Browns football team. And, you know, this is only really year one into this football team. We're going to find out a lot about our cornerback room, about our wide receivers, and about our quarterback going into this year, especially with, you know, everything being kind of almost like this is a 1 year go all at it and see how far we get and see where we're at next year. So yeah, I just really want you guys' opinion and comments on this. I feel like it's very encouraging. Despite, you know, us losing day 2, we still won day 1. And winning day 1 is really good. But that's going to be pretty much it for me. Make sure y'all remember that I'm doing a not a 10, but a 1K giveaway. We going to give away a Browns ticket to any game. I'm doing this on this channel and my main channel. I have a channel where I go over and do pretty much motivational videos, workout videos, different things that keep you motivated, keep you striving, different ways to get over certain stuff as a man. And that'd be pretty much it. I'm out. It's on with y'all.